What if I told you that Australia, the land you picture with sunny beaches, cuddly koalas, and the outback, has secrets so bizarre they'll flip everything you thought you knew about it? I'm talking about jaw-dropping wildlife that defies science, laws so strange they feel like pranks, eerie mysteries buried deep in its deserts, and scandals that still spark whispers today. Stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll never look at Australia the same way again. And hey, before we dive in, drop a comment telling me where you're watching from. I guarantee you'll find something here that'll make you rethink what you thought was normal. Number 1. Wildlife gone wild. Australia's wildlife has a reputation worldwide. Deadly snakes, giant spiders, kangaroos that can box better than some pros. But even with that reputation, most people don't know the half of it. Take the funnel web spider. Most of us already know it's dangerous. But here's the part that will make you sit up. Scientists recently discovered that its venom isn't just lethal, it's weaponized differently for different creatures. For humans, it's an all-out nervous system attack, but strangely enough, it barely affects certain animals. Imagine a poison so specialized it picks its victim. That's not just creepy, it feels almost calculated. And then there's the eastern brown snake, one of the most venomous snakes on Earth. Here's the twist. Unlike most snakes that flee when spotted, browns are notorious for standing their ground. Locals will tell you it's like staring down a reptilian gladiator, daring you to blink first. But snakes and spiders are only the beginning. Have you ever heard of the gliding snake phenomenon? In parts of northern Australia, herpetologists observed snakes that don't just slither. They actually launch themselves off trees and glide short distances. Yes, snakes that can fly. As if Australians needed another reason to check their trees before walking in the bush. And get this, ants. Ordinary ants? Not in Australia. In 2023, a team of scientists studying the outback stumbled across a colony of so-called super ants, with jaws so strong they can slice straight through human skin. Reports describe them as nature's tiny shears, and people started joking that these ants could double as barber tools. Pretty wild, right? But here's the thing. The strangeness doesn't stop with nature. If you think animals are wild, wait until you hear about the country's laws. If you'd survive living in a country with flying snakes and razor-jawed ants, type fearless in the comments. I need to see how many of you are brave enough. Number 2. Legal oddities down under Australia isn't just strange in its nature. It's strange in its rulebook too. Did you know that in Western Australia, it's technically illegal to own more than 50 kilograms of potatoes at one time? Yes, potatoes. This bizarre law comes from the 1940s, during a time where the Potato Marketing Corporation wanted strict control over the spud industry. And while it might sound like outdated nonsense, there have been actual cases where truck drivers were stopped and fined for carrying excess potatoes. Imagine explaining that one to a judge. Or how about this one? In Victoria, it's against the law to change a light bulb in your own home unless you're a licensed electrician. While the rule has softened in recent years, it technically made everyday Aussies criminal electricians just for swapping a bulb. And here's one that'll blow your mind. Did you know in Queensland, it was once illegal to have a pet rabbit unless you could prove you were a magician? Rabbits were considered a serious pest, but magicians were granted exceptions because, well, you can't exactly pull a hat trick without one, right? Now, you might be laughing at these, but laws like these hint at something deeper. The quirks and anxieties that shaped Australia's history. From potato shortages to pest invasions, these laws are bizarre relics of real struggles. But if you thought strange laws were entertaining, just wait, because Australia's deserts hide mysteries that are a lot darker. If that potato law made you laugh, hit the like button right now. It's the best way to let me know you're enjoying this ride so far. Number 3. Mysterious disappearances and cryptids. Australia isn't just quirky, it's downright eerie in some places. Let's start with the outback. This vast, sun-scorched landscape is so remote that even today, entire planes and people have vanished without a trace. One famous case is the disappearance of pilot Frederick Valentich in 1978. Flying over Bass Strait, he radioed a chilling report. "There's this strange aircraft just hovering above me." Moments later, radio silence. Neither he nor his plane were ever found. Some believe he crashed. Others whisper it was something far stranger, possibly a UFO. And then there's the legend of the Yowie, Australia's own Bigfoot. For years, it was dismissed as folklore. But in 2023, reports surfaced of hikers in Queensland who swore they'd seen a massive, hairy creature stalking the forest edge. Experts brushed it off as a hoax, but locals swear the Yowie is real. Whether you believe it or not, the story keeps resurfacing, pulling in new believers with every sighting. Then there's the strange phenomenon of the Min lights. These glowing orbs drift across the outback night sky, sometimes chasing travelers for miles. Scientists argue it's just gas reflections or mirages.
Once the Min lights follow you, you'll never forget it.
Creepy, right? But here's the kicker. Nature in Australia isn't just mysterious, it can be brutal. And what you're about to hear will make you question if humans can even keep up with the forces raging across that continent. If you'd want to go ghost hunting for the Yowie, or if you'd run the other way, drop a comment with Team Brave or Team Nope. Let's see who's really adventurous here. Number 4. Environmental shockers. Australia's environment is legendary. Lush rainforests, dazzling reefs, endless deserts. But behind the postcard beauty, the land itself can turn frightening in ways you'd never expect. Take the Great Barrier Reef. Tourists know it as a paradise, but in 2022 and again in 2024, scientists recorded mass bleaching events that left entire stretches of coral ghost white. Imagine diving into what should be a rainbow-colored undersea city and instead finding miles of underwater skeletons. Experts say it's like watching an ancient kingdom vanish in real time. And then there are the fires. Australians are used to bushfires, it's part of the cycle of the land. But in recent years, fires have turned almost apocalyptic. In 2019, flames moved so fast they generated their own weather systems. Witnesses said it was like watching fire summon lightning out of the sky. One survivor described it as the sky itself turning against us. Cyclones in the north add another layer of terror. In 2023, meteorologists documented one of the most intense cyclones on record slamming into Western Australia, with wind speeds so fierce they bent steel power poles like toys. And here's something most people outside Australia never hear about: the massive dust storms that sweep across the outback. These storms can stretch for hundreds of kilometers, swallowing towns in a wall of red haze. Locals describe them as like Mars descending on Earth. It's breathtaking, it's terrifying, and it reminds you that no matter how advanced we get, Australia's environment is always in charge. But the land doesn't just destroy. It also surprises with records and feats so weird you won't believe they're real. If you think nature is still stronger than humans, drop Earth wins in the comments. Let's see how many of you agree. Number 5. Weird record breakers. If Australia knows how to shock you with disasters, it also knows how to stun you with sheer weirdness. Ever heard of the world's longest golf course? It's in Australia, stretching across the Nullarbor Plain. But here's the twist. It isn't one neat field of green. The course is literally spread across 1,365 kilometers of desert. Each hole is set in a different town, so you're basically playing golf on a road trip that takes days. Or how about this? Australia holds the record for the world's longest fence. Known as the Dingo Fence, it stretches over 5,600 kilometers, longer than the Great Wall of China. Built to keep wild dogs away from sheep, it's so massive you can see its impact from space. Then there's the town of Coober Pedy, where most residents actually live underground. Why? Because the outback heat is so brutal, the locals dug into the earth to escape it. Imagine entire homes, churches, and even shops hidden under the desert floor. And let's not forget the food records. Australia once held the Guinness record for the world's largest pavlova, a dessert so massive it could feed thousands. And in rural Victoria, there's a festival where the highlight is smashing watermelons with your head. Because why not? These bizarre records show that Australians don't just live with their land, they embrace its extremes in ways no other country does. But not everything about Australia's extremes is fun. Some of the strangest headlines come from scandals and controversies that left the whole world watching. And trust me, you won't believe some of the things that made it to the news. Which of those records blew your mind the most? Comment golf trip if you'd try the desert golf course, or underground life if you'd rather live in Coober Pedy. Number 6. Political and pop culture controversies. Australia might seem laid back, but its politics and pop culture have sparked some jaw-dropping moments that shocked even locals. In 2022, a scandal erupted when leaked documents suggested that secret defense projects might have included unexplained aerial phenomena. That's right, UFOs. Officials quickly downplayed the claims, but the timing was suspicious, especially since other countries were making similar disclosures. Some say the files are still locked away in Canberra. And then there's the political drama around real estate. Reports surfaced of politicians allegedly benefiting from skyrocketing housing prices, while everyday Australians struggled with rent. It sparked outrage and protests in major cities, with slogans like "Homes before profits" plastered on banners. On the pop culture side, the controversies can be just as wild. Remember when a famous celebrity visiting Australia got detained at the airport for bringing their dogs into the country without proper quarantine? The story blew up worldwide, and memes exploded about Australia's strictest customs officer. And in 2023, an art exhibit featuring sacred Aboriginal imagery sparked backlash when it was revealed the artist hadn't sought proper community permission. Critics called it exploitation, while others defended it as artistic freedom. Either way, it became a national debate about cultural respect and creative boundaries. These stories show that Australia isn't just shocking because of animals or weather. It's also because of the human drama. And sometimes that drama says more about a country than any law or legend. But we're not done yet, because the conclusion will tie all these threads together and leave you with one final question that'll stick in your head long after this video ends. If that UFO rumor caught your attention, comment "Eyes to the sky." Let's see who believes there's more going on than we're being told. And number 7. Conclusion: the wild, weird truth about Australia. So what have we uncovered? Australia isn't just the postcard land of kangaroos, beaches, and BBQs. It's a place where spiders wield venom like precision weapons, snakes glide through the air, and ants come armed with blades sharper than razors. It's a country where you can be fined for carrying too many potatoes, or where a magician might be the only person legally allowed to own a rabbit. It's a land that hides mysteries in its deserts, pilots vanishing mid-flight, glowing orbs chasing travelers, legends of giant creatures whispered in the forests. And just when you think it can't get stranger, nature reminds you who's boss. Coral kingdoms collapsing into white skeletons, bushfires summoning lightning from the sky, cyclones bending steel like straws. But there's another side too, the human extremes. Record-breaking golf courses that stretch across deserts, fences longer than the Great Wall of China, and entire towns hidden underground like something out of a sci-fi movie. And of course, scandals that pull back the curtain on power, greed, and culture, clashes that shake the nation to its core. Put all of this together and Australia becomes more than just a country. It's almost a character in its own right. Unpredictable, dangerous, hilarious, mysterious, and unforgettable. A place that dares you to laugh, to gasp, to question, and maybe even to fear just a little. And here's the real kicker. For every shocking fact we just covered, there are a dozen more hiding under the surface. The outback is still vast enough to swallow secrets whole. The oceans around the reef still hold species scientists haven't named. And every year, new scandals, new discoveries, and new mysteries rise to the surface. So here's my question for you. What do you think is the most shocking thing about Australia? Is it the wildlife, the weather, the mysteries, or is it something hidden, something we haven't uncovered yet? Drop your answer in the comments. And while you're at it, tell me where you're watching from. I want to see just how far this story of Australia has traveled. If the spider venom blew your mind, hit like. If the potato law made you laugh, share this video with a friend. And if you're still here all the way to the end, type "mind blown" in the comments so I know you made it through every twist and turn. Because here's the truth. Australia isn't just shocking, it's unforgettable. And now that you know its secrets, the only question left is this. Would you ever dare to experience it yourself? Drop your answer in the comments. What's the most shocking thing about Australia? Tell me where you're watching from. If the spider venom blew your mind, hit like. If the potato law made you laugh, share this video with a friend. If you're still here, comment "mind blown."